Well, hello, beautiful people. Today, I want to talk about a topic that is incredibly important when it comes to personal growth and living a fulfilling life. What it means to be responsible versus playing that victim, right? These two mindsets can have a huge impact on the direction of your life it takes, and understanding the difference between them is key to taking control of your life. So, let's dive all into it. Okay, so what does it mean to be responsible exactly, right? So let's start with what that means. Being responsible is all about owning your actions, decisions, and outcomes that come from, and it's about recognizing that you have the power to shape your life through the choices that you make. When you're responsible, you understand that while you can't take control of everything that happens to you, you can control how you respond to it, right? And I always talk about this too. You want to focus on what you can control only. And there's another video in there you guys can always watch in regards to that also too, right? But by being responsible means accepting that your choices have consequences. Everything has a consequence, and you're willing to face those consequences whether they're positive or negative. It is about being proactive in your life, making decisions that align with your goals and values, and take steps to achieve them. So, responsibility could also mean holding yourself accountable. When something doesn't go as planned, you don't look for someone else to blame. Instead, you ask yourself, what could I have done differently? And this mindset empowers you to learn from experiences and grow. And so let's talk about the flip side, right? What does it mean to play the victim? Now, when you're shifting the blame and refusing to take any accountability for your actions, it's a mindset where you see yourself as powerless, constantly at the mercy of external circumstances. Everybody else is to blame, right? And you believe that life is happening to you and not because of you, right? So when you're a victim, and you have this mindset, you avoid taking responsibility for your life, and you might say things like, "It's not my fault. There's nothing that I can do," or "Why does this always happen to me?" And these things keep you stuck in this cycle of helplessness and negativity, right? Because everything else is happening, and it's happening because of everybody else except for you. And playing the victim often involves blaming others for your problems, whether it's your boss, your partner, or even society. The victim mindset looks for external reasons and explains why things aren't going well. And this not only keeps you from finding solutions, but it also prevents you from seeing the role that you play in your own life. You are responsible for you, and that's it. When I learned this, everything changed for me, right? Because I've played the victim role before. I will admit it firsthand. But once I realized that that's what I was doing, it was very empowering. And now I just look to be understanding and responsible, and knowing that I take a I'm the one who takes situations. In situations, I have to take responsibility in those areas. What are things that I could have done better to make that outcome different, right? And the difference between these two mindsets can't be overstated. When you're responsible, you are in the driver's seat of your life. You have the power to make changes, to improve your situation, and to create the life that you've always wanted. But on the other hand, when you play the victim, you give up that power. You are essentially saying, I have no control, which leads to feelings of frustration, resentment, and even stagnation. And so responsibility leads to growth. It allows you to learn from your mistakes, to adapt, and just to become stronger, right? Because we're not perfect, right? However, playing the victim leads to stagnation, and it keeps you stuck in the same patterns, unable to move forward because you're not willing to take steps necessary to change your situation. So, what can we do so that we can shift from playing the victim to being more responsible? So here's a couple of things that I came up with that will help you to work through this. The first thing is you want to first recognize the patterns. You want to be aware of when you're slipping into this victim mindset. So you want to pay attention to your thoughts and the languages that you use. Am I blaming others? Am I feeling powerless? These are a cue that you want to make shifts immediately. Another one that is very important is that you take a step back and ask yourself, what role did I play in this situation? Even if the circumstances aren't entirely within your control, there's always something you can do or learn. And owning your role doesn't mean blaming yourself. It means recognizing where you have an influence and we're taking action, right? So instead of dwelling on what's wrong, start looking at solutions and what you can do to improve your situation. How can you turn these things around? This is like a proactive approach that not only helps you solve problems, but it also empowers you to just take control of your life. And one of the big things that I learned for myself, and I can't be more thankful and glad that I started doing this in my life and it started making really big changes in my life, was I started practicing gratitude. Because what had happened was I was shifting from a victim mindset, to a responsible one. Um, Often because this involves changing your perspective on life, right? Just finding ways to be thankful for situations, even though they weren't ideal, but they were things that I was able to now look back at and actually be okay with and thankful for, right? Because I was practicing gratitude by focusing on what I have that I can control over and what's going well in my life, right? So seeing the good in what's happening in my life, and this positive outlook made it easier to take responsibility and to just move forward. Now, let's talk about a little bit for relationships, right? So, this shift is especially important in relationships. When both partners take responsibility from their actions and the relationship as a whole, it leads to a healthier, more fulfilling connections. And on the other hand, if one or both of your partners play the victim, it can lead to resentment, blame, and ultimately it breaks down the relationship itself, right? So when you're taking responsibility in a relationship, it just builds trust and respect, and it shows that you are committed to making things work and that you're willing to put in the effort to improve and just grow together. So one of the things is, like, you want to avoid toxic dynamics, right? And so by avoiding the victim mentality, you can also avoid toxic dynamics where one partner feels consistently blamed or misunderstood. And responsibility creates a foundation of mutual support and understanding. So the next time you're faced with a challenge or a setback, just ask these simple questions. Am I being responsible, or am I playing the victim? Because remember, being responsible doesn't mean you have to have all the answers or that everything is your fault. It simply just means we're recognizing your power to make choices and taking ownership of your life. So by doing so, you can break free of this victim mentality and start creating the life that you just truly want. So I thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully this video resonated with you, and please give it a like and thumbs up. Share it with others who can benefit from this. Always, I love the interactions, if you can, in the comments below. Are you a victim? Is this eye-opening? Did you now see that you are playing the victim? Have you learned these principles and now you're being more responsible, right? Any type of interaction down below in the comments, I try to get to them as much as I can, and I do appreciate all the love and support. Don't forget to subscribe if you guys haven't already to this channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any content, because I am posting daily, and I do have social media links that I try to post to as much as possible all the time too. So you guys can also find me there. And just until next time, you guys make it a great day. Take care.